Hey, what's going on, movie lovers? I'm Jeff,
I'm Kyle.
and we're our Shut Up I Like This podcast where we talk about how much we actually like movies.
Yeah, we like film.
Which is pretty crazy now.
I know. We were just talking before you started recording, and I was like, God, Jeff, you really twist my arm to come over to your house and watch movies and then talk about them afterwards.
It is rough.
Yeah.
It is rough.
No, it's a lot of fun.
Today we are doing The Raid.
The Raid Redemption.
The Raid Redemption.
I love this movie so much. I'm so glad that we're going to sit down and talk about it.
I'm a little worried how we're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about how much we love the fight scenes, and we're going to break down
the whole movie.
We're going to break down specifics of what fight scenes are the best, and the soundtrack, which I can't wait to get to.
We'll talk
we learned
about
a lot about that
for sure.
We dive deep on some of the actors and the director and
Joe Taslim.
His name's Joe.
We'll get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to
just
that.
Joe.
All right. So The Raid. If you haven't seen it, it's an Indonesian martial arts film. There's a drug den. It's 15 stories.
Big apartment complex.
Lots
Reminded
of bad
me
guys.
of the Carl Urban Judge Dredd film a little bit.
Yep.
Similar sort of setup. If you've never seen The Raid.
It might even be the same building. Who knows?
It looks
pretty similar.
I wondered if the Dredd film was inspired.
What year was Dredd? Was it?
I don't know. Let me look it up really quick.
I think Dredd might have been 2012. Maybe it was a year after this.
Well, let's find out.
Because this was 2011.
Dredd was 2012.
I'm good.
Or 1995 if you want the Sylvester Stallone version,
we're not
which you do not.
We're not doing that. I am the law.
I kind of really like that scene, though.
I don't know why I'm making fun of Sylvester Stallone. He's like my hero.
Yeah, after all we raved over him in the Rambo.
No, he's amazing.
Yeah,
he's amazing.
Yeah.
It's just easy to make fun of.
I heard he's doing another Rambo. He's going to be taking on the Mexican cartel.
What?
Yeah, seriously. I just read that like the other day, Jeff.
That sounds made up.
I was going to message you. That's not made up.
If that's for real, I will be there opening night.
I'm on board for that shit.
Sure.
I'm on board for more Rambo. Anyway, we're already off subject and we're like 5 minutes in.
Not even
if
5
even that.
Not even 5 minutes. 3:30. So yeah, let's jump into The Raid. Let's do first experiences first.
I don't remember exactly what year did you say the movie came out?
2011.
2011. I watched that over at my friend Mike's house in his apartment. So it might have been a couple years after, I would imagine, when it came out on DVD or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was one that, Mike he's like he likes all these Korean foreign films and martial arts movies. And
real quick, I know you guys hear us talk about Mike a lot. Great guy. Great movie lover.
Will not come on the podcast.
He's a dick.
Yeah. Fuck you, Mike, if you're listening.
He's too scared.
Pussy.
But he would, I like to think I know quite a bit of trivia and dumb shit. We have just hours of conversations of just...
And when it comes to foreign films in particular, he's just like the foreign guy. So I had never heard of The Raid, but he knew that this would be a movie that I would like, and so he was like, you have to come over. You've got to watch this movie. It's called The Raid Redemption. It's some of the best fight choreography, brutal, just fucking action sequences. And I was blown away. First time I watched it, I'm like, wow, it was almost like nothing I had seen before.
Oh, right.
On just solid, you timed it out. After the 10 minutes into the movie, it's like, Non-stop. There's a minor break in the middle where they discuss some shit.
For 5 minutes.
That you and me made fun of. We're like, why are they stopping? Why? Just don't fucking do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? When's the first time you've seen it?
Oh, okay. I don't remember who told me about it. I don't remember how it came up. I might have just been, watching something else and... If you like this, watch The Raid.
Sure.
Because I remember I watched it. Came out in 2011, which I remember 2011 pretty well. I graduated that year, and I did not see this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was probably about 2014, 2015. It was right about the time I had our first daughter, I think, because she might have been a baby, so it might have been 2015. because I watched this on repeat. I think the first time I watched it on the computer on my laptop, headphones in by myself, and I was just like, the same. I was like glued. Like, what the hell am I watching? This is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I want. And then I bought it on Blu-ray like 2 days later, and then I probably watched it 2 or 3 times that week.
Mm-hmm.
And then every time that, oh, you're going to bed? Okay, I'm gonna watch The Raid again.
Good choice.
It's good.
Mm-hmm.
It is really good. It's very rewatchable because this is, I don't know, 8th, 9th, 10th time I watched it, and I'm still like, oh my god.
You watch it and you still cringe. Oh
yeah.
This is maybe only the second time I've seen it. I think.
Man.
And I didn't quite remember all of it, but parts of it.
Right.
You knew was coming, like the part where the dude gets thrown from the balcony from one level to another level, and like his back does like right in half on it.
Splits in half.
You know that's coming. You know that, and it is still you squirm and it's difficult.
Sure.
Difficult
and it's
to
very.
watch.
I like I don't know what the camera movement's called, but when it's tracking something, and then when it stops, the camera stops.
Yeah.
And it just adds that impact.
Uh-huh.
And then you hear it's got good sound and
real crunchy.
Real
crunchy
very
sound when
crunchy.
it lands on that.
Yes.
He's gonna need a chiropractor.
He's dead.
In the morning.
he's gone.
He's gonna need a good chiropractor then.
Yeah, someone
bring him back from that one.
Necromancer. Bring him back from the dead.
Game of Thrones, like the mountain.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that was my first experience. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
Watching on the computer.
What's your favorite scene?
That's a little bit tougher.
I know. You have to narrow it down amongst many.
Well, do you have one on hand? Do you know?
I am gonna go with the hallway machete fight scene. I think that was really neat. That was shades of Old Boy, which I love the movie Old Boy.
Yeah.
The fight scene where they fight
in the hall.
In the hall. Yeah.
Which has been replicated a lot now.
For good reason.
I remember I watched Old Boy, and then I watched the remake with Brolin.
Mm-hmm. Which I like.
I thought it was fine.
It's different. It's tough to do. Old Boy is so fucking good. How do you do it again? But
and then we started watching Daredevil when it came out.
Daredevil season 1 has that hallway fight scene.
Punisher, when he's in the prison, does that, and then it's all over now.
Yeah.
And then in this, I mean,
what year
like
was
7.
Old Boy was what?
04?
4? I was going to say 06, but early and somewhere in there. So this is enough time in 2011. I wonder if the director was a fan of Old Boy.
Sure.
And you gotta throw in your own homage to that
and I did it 8 times. I mean, really, if you think about it, the entire
there's a lot of fighting in it because it's in the apartment complex.
Yeah, the whole film is like that. Even if it's in a room, it's still the same concept.
But there's a lot of stuff that you can pick from. There's a lot of moments you can pick from.
Yeah, like just looking at my notes. I guess maybe one that sticks out is aside from all the fight scenes, because that's hard. The fridge bomb.
The fridge bomb is really cool.
All I could think about was I told you when we were watching. I'm like, this is like in Sahara with that stupid Matthew McConaughey movie where he looks at Steve Zahn. They go, "There's no way that should have worked." I wanted, that's what happened.
It's funny because you're the only person I know that would watch that and be like, this is like Sahara.
I like Sahara.
It reminds me of that scene from Sahara.
Sahara's cool. I don't care. I enjoy Sahara.
I remember when I worked at the video store, we had VHS copies of Sahara coming out our ass that we could not get rid of because no one...
I don't know why.
Well, VHS was...
Oh, VHS, yeah.
VHS was dead at that point.
Right.
And
that was like, what, 06? Earlier?
05, 06, I think is when the last VHS tape came out.
Really?
It was History of Violence. Was the last commercial, VHS release of the format.
Yeah, that was like 05, 06.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I know, it's much later than...
Yeah. I remember getting our first DVD player in 2001.
99, 2000, yeah.
I still remember the first 3 DVDs we got.
That's cool.
We got Kevin Costner Robin Hood. We got Planet of the Apes remake with Marky Mark, and then Road to El Dorado.
Yeah.
First 3 DVDs I ever had.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I remember
That's
that.
cool. I don't remember what mine were. I remember my first DVD player was PlayStation 2.
Oh, that was
Yeah. Because that was the first system that I worked all summer and saved up for, and
like everybody else in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would go with the fridge grenade.
Fridge bomb.
I
Fridge
thought
grenade.
That was cool.
Yeah. Which, if you haven't seen the movie, they rip out a propane tank.
That's the best description we can give you.
Yeah,
it's a fridge grenade.
they rip out a propane tank and they put it inside a refrigerator, and they put it the bad guys are shooting through the door. So they move the fridge towards the door, and then they open it up and they throw 1 or 2 hand grenades inside of it, and then it blows out into the hallway and just destroys everyone with a big fire blast. And I don't know if that would work, if that would fuck up everything in front and behind and the sides. And
well, it shot the
door off.
The fridge back too.
Yeah.
I had to jump out of the way of the fridge and went flying back. And
that also had that really cool moment. I think it was right before that scene where they shoot through the floor.
Oh right. Well, they shoot up through the floor. They take the axe to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They axe down one floor. They start axing down another, and then the floor below that starts shooting up.
I like that.
And kills.
Because I really like the dynamic moving between the two floors.
Yeah.
I told you to wrote down there was that really cool transition where the camera
goes through the hole.
Because you see them jump through the hole through the floor, and the camera follows someone down through it. I'm like, how did they do that?
Good stunt guy just jumped down.
Like cable, or I don't know how they did that, but that was really neat. I'm a big fan of shit like that.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of
good camera work.
Great camera work. Mm-hmm. Even when it's not moving and it's just panning up, the sets and everywhere they're at is just. I talked a lot during the movie. I'm like, that's a good shot. I like that. Even at the end, him and his brother, it zooms out when they're in the alley, and just the texture on the ground,
overhead shot,
and they start walking opposite of each other. It's just a good shot. It looks good,
yeah,
and it's just visually interesting, like you said. And
I think a lot of what makes this movie work is it didn't do the Hollywood fight scene shit that we get a lot of, that I think a lot of people, I know I'm not alone in hating this one, where they do the handheld footage on the fight scenes.
Bourne.
And it's the shaky cam, the Bourne shit.
Bourne would be so much better if it weren't for that shaky cam.
If you could fucking see what's going on, I would probably like the Bourne movies more than what I do. You can't see shit. This movie is good because they put the camera on a tripod, and it's a wide angle, and you get to see 2 dudes beat the fuck out of one another. I like that.
Yeah, a lot. You get to see a lot of fuck beating out of.
Yes, it's a brutal, brutal film. Don't watch it with kids.
For sure. And I don't know what I kind of mentioned this when we were watching it, but I watched the unrated Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't know that I didn't remember so many fucks, I guess, maybe might have been the difference.
I don't know.
I think when I watched it the first time, it was still pretty gory and brutal.
I would imagine so.
I don't know. I don't think it was that big a difference.
I don't know. It'd be tough without watching them back to back.
Yeah.
To see what the difference is. Because I'm pretty sure I watched it on DVD, and I don't know if the DVD is
unrated.
Unrated. I think the DVD is probably
R.
Yeah.
Cut down. I don't know.
But how much do you think they really cut from? Not much.
It had to have been. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what the difference is. I might have to look that up.
Yeah, that'd be fun to see.
But going back to the first video cast we did, I think it was episode 17, 18, we did Black Mask.
Mm.
And we talked about Jet Li and the detective, Detective Rock.
Yeah.
I wrote down that the leader of the squad in this film reminded me of Rock.
for Black
Like,
Mask.
yeah, I think that
I
would
get
have been that would have been cool. I liked what was it? I think his name's Joe. Joe Taslim as Jaka.
No.
And this is good. Like after like the 10th time of watching this, I finally got the names down. Like Rama is the main guy. Jaka is the leader. His brother. And like Jaka, yeah, he just reminds me of Rock from Black Mask.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him. We found out we were looking because I'm worried to say the names. Because I really like...
I'm terrible at pronouncing names, let alone...
Oh, yeah, real fast. This was bothering me. We finished Stranger Things Season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, wait till you get there. Sean Austin. It's Sean Astin. I know.
Whatever. Fuck you. Fuck off.
But Iko Uwa, I think.
Yeah.
And we're going to go with that. Don't worry. There'll be some asshole who corrects me.
Someone will correct us. You're right on that one. The internet will not let us down.
Yayan Ruyan, I think, maybe. And then Joe Taslim.
Joe.
Yeah.
Just Joe.
But I remember after I watched this, it was really close to Star Wars Episode 7, so probably about 15, 16.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like all hooked on Iko and Yayan, and then you see that they're going to be in Star Wars. And I was freaking out because I was like, can you imagine them doing the flips and grabs with a lightsaber? And they're like going crazy. And then they showed up for like a 5-minute cameo.
Yeah.
And I was really upset
and
about that.
They didn't do shit with him.
Yeah.
Because they...
I don't know why.
I don't know why what is it with American films that will grab actors like that are amazing fight choreographers and then just not do shit with them?
Yeah, just stand there.
Yeah.
That's not why we want to see them. We want to see them flip around and kick people in the face.
Yeah, I know. I was disappointed with that, too.
And then, second week in the row, or 2 weeks ago, we did Beyond Skyline, and then we saw them again, Iko and Yayan Run.
Yeah, a lot of characters.
And they actually got to do some shit in that.
A lot of actors from Skyline cross over into Raid Redemption.
And Beyond Skyline did it right. They got them, and Yayan fought the aliens with the machete and doing flips and stuff, and then he gets his arms and legs ripped off.
Yeah,
it's like,
cool.
that's what we want to see. We got to see Iko with the brace knife thing and kicking ass. It's like, that's what I want.
Yeah.
And Joe, we found out he was in Fast and Furious.
I know.
That's crazy.
I had debated, I think Vin Diesel must be a big fan of, like, Asian martial arts films, because all of his movies, whether it be The Fast and the Furious or the last Triple X movie, even though it wasn't the best, but yeah, he grabs Donnie Yen and he grabs the actors from the Raid and some other films. I think that's really cool that he does that, and that he typically seems to...
that's annoying.
Yeah. He typically seems to use them better than your standard Hollywood movies do.
Alright, we're good.
I think so, anyway.
No, yeah, there might be something there. I bet there is.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I always say that's what I would do. There's a lot of shit I would do if I made a movie. Which, well, I'm a little bit farther on this on our secret script, by the way.
Ooh,
so
I hope that's that's going along well.
I've been teasing you guys about like the trivia show and our original content and stuff like that, and 3 of 5 of the trivia shows are filmed.
Mm-hmm.
So I might just put them out, and then when I get the last 2 filmed, I'll put those out, just so you guys can see what we're doing. And then cool. We are doing original content. We have a film writing about. So I'm about a third of the way done.
I have read parts of it.
And,
I like where you're going.
It's a lot of inspiration from a lot of different things.
That's neat. It's
so
very cool.
I can't get Iko Uwa yet, but
maybe.
But I think we'll have that out. I would say hopefully. Let's see, it's what? Oh, at least by the end of the year, we'll have a feature length film.
I would think so.
And I think we're gonna put that on Vimeo.
Cool.
So that'd be cool.
Cool.
Back to the Raid. A little plug right there. I wanted to get that in there. Feeling pretty cool. And I don't know if you noticed, but...
the shirt.
Yep.
I should have brought mine down. I could have held it up.
Got you on. God dang it. And we are going to be doing a giveaway.
Nice.
So, probably, if you're watching this, probably tomorrow, if you're listening as well. tomorrow. Look out for a giveaway mystery box deal.
Cool.
So there's that. It's been a little bit since I've done one. We're getting off. I'm getting off track again. But real quick, I just want to say that we've kind of. I haven't been keeping up on Twitter or anything. We've been busy and stuff like that. So
yeah, I haven't. Summertime.
I hope you guys are enjoying
Summertime for all of us. I haven't wrote anything for my website in like 2 weeks, which I should not do because that sucks.
I think was it like 2 weeks ago we watched like 3 movies and cranked them out, and
then we've taken a spell off. So it's nice to get back down here and get to recording.
Nice damp basement. Smells pretty good down here.
Musty.
Nice and musty.
Or musty studio.
All right. So right at
so back to the raid. By the way, the raid.
The raid. In the beginning, first I was trying to keep track of when the action started. So at 10 minutes and 52 seconds is when we first see the guy. That's a shot that I like. You see the guy sitting and there's the doorway behind him, and then you just see hands coming out through the light and then chokes him out and brings him back.
Lesson learned, why would you sit with a darkened doorway right behind you, move over like 3 feet?
He's a bad guy.
Don't do that.
He doesn't have brains.
Oh.
So that's when I counted like the action begins.
Yeah.
That's at 10 minutes and 52 seconds in, and then, like you said, till the end of the film, it's just go.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the beginning, we see Rama look at his watch, or maybe it was the bad guy look at his watch. And
I think it was the head bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell if it was 5:40 or like 8:30.
Yeah, we couldn't quite tell.
So I wanted to see like how long the movie takes place over, because it takes place in a day. And I just wanted the time period.
If we say it took at 8:30 in the morning, it is not nighttime.
Right, it's probably like 5.
So if it's still summertime,
late evening.
Yeah. Like 5 o'clock, 5:30 somewhere. So it's a short time that the events take place. I think that's kind of cool.
It's a long work day.
Yeah, it's a hell of a work day.
Yeah.
I hope they got overtime.
Hazard pay.
Yeah.
But like we find out though, it's not on the books. It's a secret operation led by head honcho Dickface. There's we have the SWAT team comprised of Jaka, Rama, and the rest, and we find out that they're meeting this old grayed-haired, we assume kind of veteran detective,
whatever.
And we assume he's leading the operation, which he is. Mm-hmm. Soon do we find out though that he's just trying to do this for a personal pull to gain. He's trying to work himself into this organization, make some more money.
Yeah.
Be a dick face.
Fuck that guy.
Gets 18 people killed on the SWAT team.
Most of the entire crew except for 2 people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then kids die.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of speaking.
Jesus, just throw pins at me.
Speaking of which,
you said something about body count.
I want you to think about if you can figure out the body count. Hiccup.
If I had to guess, I'm gonna say 148.
I think it's higher.
Is it higher than that?
I think it's higher. I had it open and then I closed out. Yeah, I think it's definitely higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, another guess? Because it's up.
Because I'm thinking.
Oh no, it's down. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was 221. It's 121.
121. All right.
Still 121 people in an apartment building.
Yeah,
that's a fuck ton of people.
Mm-hmm.
And you figure, in like one of those hallway fights, I like. Is he with Jaka or? Yeah, no, he's the ear guy that was being a dick in the van. He saves him. And he's like helping him walk because he's all fucked up, and he has to kind of like drop him and fight. There's probably 15 dudes,
easily
15, and I liked it's just a little stupid thing, but I really liked.
Like you dug the part where he crawled on the ground grabbed the knife and stabbed the dude.
I mean, you've got Ego who gets up he's sitting against the wall the whole time, and just kind of these two different levels.
Mm-hmm.
Iko's flying through, beating all these people up, doing all this shit, and the whole time he's just kind of crawling, trying to get away. It's like you got two different things going on at completely different speeds and styles. And then at the very end, he gets to stab a guy.
Well, his friend wanted to help.
Yeah, he wanted to stab a guy, so...
That actually led to another one of my favorite scenes in the movie, where they fight through that hallway, they go to that apartment of, like, the one dude that they had met early on in the very beginning.
Right.
One of the good guys in this apartment complex. He really needs to move.
Yeah, I said that.
You should really find a better place to live than where they're making drugs and everyone's getting murdered.
Right at the beginning, I was like, why would you like, is there nowhere else you can live?
I guess not.
I mean, how desperate I would sleep outside before I lived there.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But,
I don't know.
So anyway, they make it to his apartment. He's reluctant, doesn't want to open the door. He opens the door. He's gonna hide him. And so there's like, he's got this little crawl space.
That's a weird
that he's built.
Deal.
You can tell that he's built that there's like the original wall, and then he's built like drywall in front of it.
Right.
So that you can hide whatever. He hides him back there.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, what's that dude up to?
I think that...
Is he...
I think he knows. I think that just based on where they live, maybe his wife hides in there.
What if, like, someone breaks into their apartment or something?
Yeah, like a panic room or something for them to hide in.
Shittiest panic room ever made, but...
Well,
yeah.
I mean, you gotta do.
Because all the times I've watched this, I'm like, why the hell do they even have that? It's just a waste of space.
That's what I would think. It's for them to hide in.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How would you close it from the inside?
There was a little bit of a board
okay.
on the inside. You're thinking too hard on this whole hiding thing here, Jeff. So one of the main bad guys comes in with a big fucking machete, and they're tearing this apartment up looking for him. And he starts stabbing through this hole. And they're going through. And that is where the machete blade finally gets to him. And it slices... I know, it's really difficult. Like, right here through his cheek, and then he leaves it.
Can't make a sound or move it.
Can't make a sound, can't move, can't do anything. And the dude on the outside walks away. I don't even remember what he walks away for. To roughhouse the guy whose apartment it is or something.
That dude started like, hey, get the fuck out of my stuff. And he's like, do you want me to get pissed off? Like,
and there's that amazing scene where his partner, who's like ear is fucked up.
Oh yeah, he's like holding his mouth shut.
He like 3 minutes prior, the dude on the ground is like, I'm having the worst fucking day imaginable. And he looks up and he sees his partner with this fucking machete sticking out of his face, and he's like, maybe I don't have it that bad. Like, you see his expression change in that instant.
He's like Iko is holding this dude's mouth shut so he don't scream.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know how, I would have just worried about getting stabbed right then. I've been like, try not to scream, this fucking hurts.
Yeah.
He's like, I gotta get the blood off so they don't know I'm in here. Like,
oh.
Who the fuck thinks that's like Breaking Bad shit. Like,
yeah.
Heisenberg would think of that.
Yeah.
And so, like, you just see his hand and holding his partner's face. He looks up and he's just shaking, and then that's when he does the... Well, fuck.
Yeah.
And then as the bad guy pulls out the machete, he wipes off the blood with his fingers.
Oh, that's so hard to watch. It's so good.
So good, though.
And then who would
think of that?
You know, speaking of other movies that I think The Raid had an influence on, remember the 2013 remake of Evil Dead?
Yeah.
There's that scene at the end of the movie where she's hiding in the walls and they come at her with a machete. Same fucking thing.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. The influence of this film is all over the place. I really think so.
Easily.
Yeah.
For sure.
God, that scene was terrifying. Just that...
All these scenes... Well,
that apartment scene, if that was in any other movie, the best scene in that movie would have been that apartment scene. So much shit happens in this one. I don't know how far we are into this podcast. And we're just like, oh, by the way, this happened too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might be at the same time that's happening. Or, no, it's a little bit after. But just... Okay, first, overall, the tension that this movie builds...
I know, you're sitting there and you're like on the edge of your seat, and then, you can relax a little.
there's a scene that I want to make a meme out of that kind of captures the whole intensity of it. The Machete Gang's walking, stalking the halls. Jaka and old guy and poor rookie guy, we don't really know him, but they're hiding in that bathroom stall. And then clicky, clack, 1, 2, machete's coming for you. Yeah, and then that build-up, he's hiding behind the stall, and he's reaching and he grabs his knife, and then you just see every muscle, like one at a time, just start to tighten up.
Because he's going, and then he's holding his jump on it.
He's holding his breath, and he's just waiting. And it's just that game of patience where you have to wait. And then it's just tighter. You think he's going to pop a blood vessel. I just think that's a perfect representation of how intense this entire film is. It's just like, that's the audience, and then the Machete Guy's the movie.
And you know what was really brilliant about that scene is the director had the balls to cut. Like, that should have been, like, one extended moment.
Right.
Right as he's getting ready to, you think the guy with the machete on the outside, the one who's clicking it, is going to come around the corner. There's a cut.
Oh, yeah,
and we go to another part, and it leaves you, the audience, going, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yep.
And it takes a little bit before you get to see the conclusion of that.
I'm pretty sure the first time I watched it, I'm like, oh, we're just supposed to assume that the cops won or something.
Yeah.
And then it's like 5 minutes later.
It cuts back to it.
And then he just walks away. I'm like, damn it!
That is a brilliant editing decision. That stuck out as me as being like, oh, this is a director who's got the balls to do shit that's different.
Yeah.
Like, you're not in for a standard fare film.
Right.
With The Raid. That's cool. That's why I love it so much.
The problem that I had taking notes is I was just writing... Okay, for instance, these are my notes.
What do you even write when it's so much action?
Well, let's just go through it.
You noticed I didn't take any?
there's not that many lines, so let's just go through it. So we talked about the action begins at 10 minutes. The leader of the squad reminded me of Rock. And then we couldn't tell what time the day started. And then the sniper guys. Talk about the sniper guys.
Oh, yeah.
And let's call our neighbors. And then we kind of talked about later in the film, like, oh, I would have died by now. I'm like, no, I would have been the guy in the truck.
You see the game the other day?
Yeah. But the sniper guys take out, like, the two guys who are guarding outside, and they're like, he goes to shoot him again because he's not dead. He's like, no, let him scream. And then
brutal.
He baits him, and then he's screaming, and some guy looks out the window, and before he boom, his goggles start filling up with blood, and he just leans forward and it starts pouring out.
You see it pour out of the hole.
Like,
that's fucked up shit.
So good, so fucking good though. How do they do that? And then they just take out the outside. They take the truck. They take those two guys, you and me, sitting in there talking about the game last night. Yeah, do you see Moritz Berender got traded to the Cincinnati Bengals? Talking about that?
Yeah.
Or maybe he got signed, I don't know.
He got signed.
Okay. And then so that's what's taking place outside. And then I wrote down the stairwell shootout, which we could talk about.
The first one.
The very first kind of shootout we see.
Was that the...
With the shotgun?
Was that the kind of Sin City one where they were in the dark and the shotgun blast is enough
lights it up?
So they're on one level, the bad guys are on the top level, the shotgun blast is enough to like, oh, now we can see where they are.
Yep.
And so they fire on them, they've got the vantage from up top, and they massacre the whole line of them. You was not expecting the first time I watched this movie...
For 5 people to die.
They're not going to take half the squad of cops out.
No, they are.
No, they did.
Yeah, let's kind of dive into that for a minute, though. Because it's shot so well. And this movie has a lot of slow-mo, but it fits. It's the right amount.
It does, but it's not the annoying slow-mo that stands out.
Right.
Of like, we're doing bullet time now.
Right.
Sometimes that fits if it's the right film, but most of the time I don't think it does. Was there a lot of... I guess I didn't realize.
Yeah, there's a lot of slow-mo.
Was there a lot of slow-mo?
Yeah, there's a lot. But like you said, we got our squad officers here, bad guys the floor above, and the lights are out, and they're just waiting. And then SWAT guys see this door opening. And so they turn and fix on that, and they're just waiting. Door opens, and then this is where the slow-mo starts. Shotgun goes off. You see
I guess you're right.
You see everything. It illuminates everything. But not only does it illuminate the squad, it has this cool shot where you don't even see the guys on the top floor. You just see an illumination of their shadows.
It reminded me of, it's like, Sin City. That's like a graphic novel. Frank Miller, that's like a Frank Miller drawing up there. That was cool.
So you see the shadows and stuff, and then it kind of cuts out for a minute, and then it's just guns and death and blood and everything.
Yeah, shocking. That was a shocking moment early in the film that sets you up for, it's gonna be one of these kinds of movies.
Yeah, it's. I really like that shotgun blast lighting effect, and it's slow mo. There's a lot of slow mo.
Yeah.
And then we talked about the floor transition where they chopped the hole in the floor.
I love that so much.
That was really good.
That was a good scene. That was another scene that if that's in any other film, that's the best scene in the movie.
Yeah.
It might be the best. Well,
as we were watching it, we got to about. I mean, we did. Like I said, we saw the snipers, the stairwell shootout, the floor transition, the grenade. And then as that got there, I'm like, we haven't even got to the machetes. We haven't got to the hallway. We haven't got to anything yet.
The torture
There's still
room.
so much more to come.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know how you can take that stairwell shootout, which would be a climax in another film, and like, no, we're going to keep going.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? We talked about the bathroom machete scene. The hallway fight, which I kind of want to talk about a little bit more because not only did Iko just fly through 15 people, but some of the ways that he attacked him were just mean, I thought. Like,
just mean. Don't be mean to the drug dealers.
I mean, no. I mean, like,
I know what you mean.
If I'm being an asshole and you're going to kill me, fucking kill me. You know, you don't need to take a knife, shove it in my hip, slice my hamstring down to my knee, stab me in the shoulder, left shoulder, right shoulder, chest, head. You don't need to go, wah, bah, 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 bah. Just fucking shoot me or something.
Yeah.
You don't need to do that. And he does that a couple of times. Like, I first saw the hamstring slice, and then he does it again to another guy. Yeah, that's his go-to move. There's a lot of neck slashes, which you've seen before. But it's so much different in this film, and
because
you see,
they don't.
It's in succession to other stuff.
They don't cut.
Right.
I mean, they don't really cut away from it, and it's in the middle of a solid action sequence where they're fighting, they're trading blows, and then you see someone with a knife go in to finish him off, and then it's right into the next guy that he's fighting. I think that's what works so well about it. Was this the scene where he smashes the dude's head against the wall, and then he breaks the light?
The head ladder?
Yeah. Boom, and then he goes like boom and boom down again.
I think he does it 4 times.
I thought it was 3.
Because I think he goes light, trim, wall.
Okay.
It's a lot.
The dude was fucking dead.
Just kill me.
The dude was fucking dead after the light. He just like keeps going with it.
But
that's brutal shit, man.
But it's so beautiful at the same time when you're seeing him move and he's so fluid. And I mean, like you said, he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to it. It's just like it's 3 different people, but he's just like connect the dots on people.
Yeah, and I mean there are cuts in that, but for the most part, it's like the camera is moving from sequence to sequence. It's not. You know, some movies do like this is one shot, and then like this is another shot. Like it's not that kind of shit. It's like you're seeing them actually. I don't like cuts.
All right, if you're gonna make an action movie, your budget should be spent on choreography, not. If you're making a musical, where are you spending your money?
Yeah,
on the fucking music. If you're making an action movie, spend your money on the choreography, make it look good.
And it was stuntmen on wires probably that they digitally removed, doing like nice wire work and fight scenes.
I don't know if there was a lot of wire work.
I would say the torture room scene. I think there was some.
Well, maybe with the little fucker.
With the little guy doing some flips and stuff. I think there was some good wire work in that.
That guy
and then the one scene that you wrote down, what was it?
I don't know.
The one, remember I told you to rewind it, it's the one where they slam.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. That's the...
Describe that for a minute for me.
Yeah. So the Machete Gang, this is a separate hallway fight, right?
This is a different fight scene.
He sneaks out. Okay, so it's after the hidden wall.
Yeah.
He sneaks out. He starts walking. One of the guys backs out of the room, and they kind of look at each other. While we're watching, I was like, hey. Like, I wanted them to say something, but they just stopped and stared at each other for a second. And then the guy's like, hey, it's the guy. And then they chase him. And I like how Ego runs away, but it's like halfway down the hall just to kind of get some space. And then he turns back around and he's like ready. Mm-hmm. He just needed like some space. But yeah, so they run at each other and they're doing their stuff I wish I could do. And then Usher in the red shirt looked like a mini Usher.
Mm-hmm. He did.
So yeah, we had to go back and watch it. So he slams a guy into a door, doesn't break, does it again. I think he does it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, the door gets broke somehow.
Yeah, he finally throws one guy through, breaks the door, he's fucked up. And then Usher's
so the bottom of the door is like splintered.
Right, it's like splintered.
It's a death trap.
And then Usher's like, oh, I think I can still take you. And then they keep fighting, and I don't know how he does it. I don't know how you get this momentum. But Iko grabs him by, like, the shoulder or head or something, and he, like, throws himself back, but Iko's, like, Supermaning it backwards.
I know.
And then he pulls him and slams him down onto the splintered door.
And his throat goes, like, through that. Like, his momentum. Then the reason why I said wire work and the reason why I asked you to rewind it is because I'm pretty convinced that was a reverse shot with a wire. Like, they started out on the ground and, like, they ratcheted him forward. And then in the film, they play it in reverse because I couldn't figure out how his momentum...
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I can't figure out how his momentum would have yanked him.
He was like Superman. Like, he was flat when he pulled him back.
Yeah.
Because when he fell, he was plank.
I imagine maybe he was supposed to have, like, kicked back off the wall somehow. It was really fucking cool, though. No, is what I'm getting at here. And I bring up some of the wire work and the stunts being with actual people because I had recently caught part of what was the second Matrix film? Matrix Reloaded. It was really difficult to go back and watch because
the highway scene.
No, the highway scene is really good.
That's the
highway scene is like the high point of that film, where Neo fights Agent Smith, and then there's like a bunch of Agent Smiths come out, and it turns into all CG.
Isn't that Revolution? Or is that?
I thought that was. It might be the second or the third, but they turned to all CG, and then
it looks like PS2 graphics.
Yes. And it takes you right out of the film. I'm like, I can't believe that I watched this and was convinced by this at one point.
I don't think that we were.
I don't think we were. And that's a big fucking budget Hollywood movie. That movie probably had 5 times the budget.
Especially after the first one.
Of The Raid. And The Raid will stand the test of time. Because this is real people with minimal wire work doing real stunts. Beating the fuck out of one another. And I like it so much better. Then when Hollywood gets cheap and we're going to CG this.
That's the thing.
Fuck that.
I would always want to be in an action movie, but I'd have to, like, Keanu Reeves it and, like, actually learn to be John Wick because you can tell when people are faking it.
Yeah.
You can tell when it's not authentic and real.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's
some of the newer movies, like some of the newer Marvel and DC movies, it's getting close to being super convincing.
BVS Warehouse Fight.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
For example, is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And I doubt that was Ben Affleck.
Right.
Yeah. But I don't know. You're never going to beat that feeling of 2 dudes going at it.
Just beating
for real. And beating the fuck out of one another. Even if you're doing, like probably some of the blood splatters were probably CG on some of the knife
hits
and stuff. it's just so much more convincing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like we've talked about with horror films, practical effects will
always trump
CGI.
Yep, every time.
If you have two people really doing these moves, it's gonna trump an actor faking it, or a CGI, but a real actor fighting a CGI thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter how good the CGI is. You're still it takes your brain's smarter than that.
I think I've mentioned this before, but it's why Guillermo del Toro is such a genius.
Right.
Because he can blend those two so seamless on his effects work.
Right.
That you just can't tell.
But I mean, it's still real people. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yep.
That's how you do it.
I know there were shots in the first Pacific Rim that you would think would have been CG.
Well,
but they were like big puppets.
Everyone complains about like I can't remember what I was gonna say. Here I go again. Steppenwolf and Thanos. It's like, can you imagine if it was actually Josh Brolin and what's his face in makeup? Why not?
Personally, I think Steppenwolf looks fine. You can go back and listen to our Justice League discussion.
But I'm saying
the plug for previous podcast.
It'd still be better with real people.
Yeah.
And it could be done. I mean, we've seen it. And I don't know anything, but I would imagine maybe makeup's cheaper than CGI. Maybe.
I don't know.
For a guy, if you already have a guy.
I was just watching Last Jedi. I watched some of the special features on it, big long documentary, and they were actually talking about how it was cheaper to use some CG creatures instead of practical because they were trying to film on location and just the logistics of bringing.
Yeah, that's with puppeteers. That's a bunch of people, though.
Yeah.
If you're having Steppenwolf, you have a guy, you signed him. He's gonna work. He's gonna be there. Paint him or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. I do.
That's something I can get it with Star Wars. I mean, you go to Cantina, you got 50 aliens there. You got Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Ezra Miller, and then the guy. He's there too. Just fucking paint him up, put some prosthetics on him, make him look good, put some cool armor on him. Give some makeup guys a job. I don't know.
No, you're not wrong.
Ranting now. Okay. Back to the Raid.
I was just thinking about how From Dusk Till Dawn is a good example.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there's a couple CG transitions in that, but
Fred Williamson and Tom Savini transforming into vampires.
Yeah, all the vampires in that movie and stuff are I think really convincing and really good and hold weight.
It's a winless battle.
I think so.
It's weird because, I mean, in 20, 25 years from now, practical effects are going to only be in indie movies and cult movies.
Yeah. I don't know. I go back and forth on that.
I don't know.
It's going to be a blend.
Because, I mean, for me, if I'm making a film, makeup's cheaper. I'm going to put a guy in makeup.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. Usually I write down a lot of quotes.
Not a lot of talking in the Raid.
This is like Quentin Tarantino on Opposite Day.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck dialogue. We don't need that. I did write one thing down. They're trying to dig a bullet out, and Rama's like, we need something sharp, and he comes back with like a butter knife, and he's like, the guy with the bullet wound's like, are you shitting me? Fuck you, go look again. Like, this is all I have. How do you not have a knife in your house?
There are knives everywhere in this movie. How can you not find a knife?
Yeah, go outside. There's one stuck in that dude's head.
Yeah, shit.
Which I like that, though. There's a lot of continuity. For instance, there's a guy, he stabbed maybe like in the back or in like the shoulder. And then they go into the room and the whole machete scene happens. And then when he wanders back out, everybody's still laying down and that knife is still there and stuff. I mean, it seems like an obvious thing to do, but a lot of films don't look over that.
Yeah.
That it's not a big deal.
Or miss.
But, I mean, with low budget films, it's like, what are we going to do? Tell everybody like, okay, get up now.
Yeah.
Like, no.
Yeah, just lay there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. What the fuck are we paying you for? And I think if I don't know, I might be making this up, but I think a lot of those guys were just Indonesian, like, extras, martial arts guys.
Probably.
From everywhere.
Yeah.
So, and I like something else that kind of sets us apart is it's not Chinese, it's not Japanese, it's not Korean, Indonesian. Indonesian. I wrote, no, I didn't write it down, but the martial arts is, it's like Salah Penka or something. But it's like a martial art native to Indonesia.
That's cool.
And so I think that's really neat that this is kind of, I mean, getting the spotlight, and then when people see it, they're like, whew, this is way better. This is way more. And
like I said, I want to see a Batman movie where Batman beats the fuck out of people.
with Pinkasala or whatever.
Maybe not quite to the extent of The Raid, but I
can't remember what it's called. But yeah.
You know what I'm getting at.
Right. Yeah, Pinkasala. Indigenous fighting style. Yeah. I don't know.
Can we talk about that interrogation room?
Yeah, let's talk about that. The freezer or whatever it is, torture room.
I don't quite 100% know what the purpose of the room is, but
be scary.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Wait for you.
So, what's the name of the actor, the one that was in The Raid, and then he was in Beyond the Skyline? The dude with the machete, the scraggly-haired guy.
Yahya Nurian.
Yeah, who was just evil as fuck throughout this movie.
Yeah.
You just can't wait for him to get his head just fucking smashed in, and he keeps getting the better.
It pisses me off, too, because he's such a crazy, short... So little.
I know, you just can't...
You're getting your ass whooped by a Oompa Loompa.
You just don't grab a hold of him, and you can't, because he's so shifty.
Yeah. Oh, what I was talking about, I'm like, speaking of which, we should... It's like Sin City. When Marv handcuffs Elijah Wood.
Yeah.
Like, they need to fucking handcuff him. Like, jump around now.
So, goddamn, there was also the scene earlier in the film where they meet up and they have the knives.
And the gun.
The knife and the gun, and they put them down so that they can actually, square off and, fight one another. So, and he got the best of him in that scene. And so it loops back to this interrogation room scene, and then it's 2-on-1. And he's still getting the best of two of them.
Believe it, yeah.
And finally, at the end of the movie, they finally get him on the ground. And as an audience member, I even said it. I'm like, fucking grab a hold of him. And
that's what they did. Yeah. Like, one guy had him in a headlock, and Rama just jumped on his legs.
Yeah.
Get him down.
And what was it? What was in his neck? Was it a piece of pipe or a piece of glass?
So there was that really cool shot we were talking about overhead of the lamp or the light.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. And, he brought him up and... he kicked it or something.
Yeah, part of his body broke the light bulb.
Yeah, it was part of that fluorescent lighting. And then he stabbed
So that's in his neck.
And he's still going.
Don't you see blood?
Yeah, it spurts out every so often, and he's just still going to fucking town.
So when they finally get him on the ground, they take this piece and they twist it this way, and that was brutal, folks.
Finally.
That was and how long did that fight scene last?
How long did all the fight scenes last?
I don't know. That scene in particular, would 5 minutes be?
At least.
Stretching in?
No.
I don't think so.
No. I'd say, 5, 6, 7. I'd say 7 max, maybe.
It was a good scene.
Really good. Like I said, and we talked about kind of that room, the set was just interesting.
Visually, there's a lot of visually interesting.
It's not too fantasized.
Yeah.
But just enough to why are the floor and the wall and the ceiling they're all the same color and texture? What the
Why
hell?
would this be in an apartment?
Right.
What was the purpose?
But at the same time, it's fucking get them! You don't care. It's just oh, that's interesting.
I also suppose maybe the purpose of the room you can justify because, there are these drug kingpins, whatever, doing weird shit.
Right, and torturing people.
Of course they gotta have a torture room. So they converted someone's apartment into a torture room. It can look however torturing it wants.
Yeah.
That's the idea. They're fucking terrible people here.
Yeah.
I get excited when I talked about this movie. Can you tell? I like it a lot.
I'm having a hard time because explaining fight scenes may
It's
not
difficult.
be that exciting to listen to, but it's
I don't know.
Yeah.
The filing cabinet.
Yes.
Remember when they were fighting in the the Heisenberg's drug lab?
Before you get into that though, I liked another shot. It's not just all action. It's the way this movie. It's a high caliber directing job and filming. It starts off slow panning with all these drug dealers, and you're like, oh, it's a drug den, whatever.
Heisenberg.
And then it gets to the end, and it's just, I don't know if it's Rama or who, but he's just like, has a guy on his shoulders, and he just flies into this shelving or whatever. You're like, oh shit, we're starting.
Yeah.
And it just goes. But yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. It's like someone flipped someone else into this filing cabinet, and you were like, it kind of looks like maybe they fucked that stunt up a little bit, but they just kept it in the film.
Yeah.
Because I suppose if you're really fighting people, shit like that would happen.
Right.
Like, I don't know, it didn't quite look correct, and that's why I like it. I like the fact that they left that in.
I like the fact that...
And it hurt. It looked like it hurt a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Like, in a lot of films, you know, somebody gets thrown through a wall, they're like, oh, no problem.
Yeah,
and this guy just
like in the Matrix films, like, oh, you go through a wall and you just brush it off and you're fine.
In the Matrix.
I know, but
that's a bad example.
But it's still supposed to hurt in the Matrix. Like, if you die in the Matrix, you die in the real world. So you shouldn't you go through this wall in the Matrix, you shouldn't feel it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, he just kind of flips him over and he smacks like his lower back against a file cabinet.
Yeah.
And he's like fucking down.
I know, because the way the stuntman reacted, it was like, God damn, I wonder if they fucked up and if he was really like, ow, my back for real.
It did feel pretty authentic.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't know, maybe.
That's what I'm going to go with.
I would keep it in.
About the only thing in that scene I was disappointed with. Disappointed, in air quotes here. They had all those jugs of shit that was around the set.
Yeah.
And a lot of them had, like, the poison symbol on it.
Oh, nobody got poisoned?
I was really hoping that someone would have got, like, melted, like, at the end of RoboCop. You know, RoboCop, where the chemical stuff comes out, and the dude walks around the corner, and then he gets hit by the fucking car.
Yeah,
like,
and it just splatters.
Yeah, like, I wanted someone's face to get melted off in that specific moment, because that would have been...
Breaking Bad, put him in the
yeah, right? Tub. Like, come on, don't show me all of these poison jugs without someone going through them.
Yeah.
You can't do that to me.
That's fair.
It was a great scene.
Yeah. Let's talk a little bit. We didn't know this watching it, but the whole time we're like, we really like this music. We're really digging the music.
Yeah, 2 or 3 times we were both like, this is cool. Good.
Little did we know, fucking Mike Shinoda,
Linkin Park,
Fort Minor, composed the soundtrack for this movie.
Yeah.
His only film.
Yeah, we watched a little special feature.
Yeah.
Where you were writing, it was like, hand me the remote, let's see what special features are.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, it's a dude from Linkin Park did the soundtrack. And it was all experimental.
Yeah, he's like, at the very end, he's like, I probably shouldn't say this, but it was kind of an experiment. I'm like, damn, you did fucking good. I
want to know why no one's called him up to score another film. Maybe
he talked about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I've just turned down offers left and right, because I just, I don't know, I didn't know if I really wanted to do it, or if it'd be any good, and then... I don't remember what Gareth Edwards said to him, but they got him hooked into it, and then you just fucking crushed it.
It was neat listening to the breakdown about how they didn't want to use a traditional like
string guitar
heavy metal score, you know, like Mad Max with the da-na-na-na-na score. Nothing like that in here. It's a lot of like
that's what Gareth Edwards said was he wanted a hip-hop guy who could also incorporate an essence of rock and heavy metal and stuff like that.
Linkin Park.
I'm like, yeah. Like, there you go. Yeah, he fucking nailed it, and I loved watching it because like he talked about, they would send clips and stuff to Gareth, and Gareth would be like, this is fucking amazing, this is awesome, I love the music. But then the music guys would be watching the film and they'd be like, how did they do this? Like, I just love that they're as impressed with it as everybody else is, and they're working on it, and they're still like, damn,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
and
thought
then
that was really
the other
cool.
composer that helped out worked with Daft Punk.
Yeah.
In the Tron
Yeah.
film, which
Fucking cool.
cool. I love that score
Yeah.
as well too. I've got that one downloaded at home.
Yeah. I love the soundtrack.
Mhm.
And that little
That siren
Yeah,
sound at the
yeah.
beginning was really cool. And I
like
did
how
know.
they went into it and described what they were doing and,
Yeah.
and everything. That was really interesting. And just watching him, like, there was a couple of times in this documentary thing, he'd like just be playing with some sounds, and then he'd get something, and then he'd just look up and go,
That'd be cool.
"Oh," and then he'd keep doing it. It's like, that's so cool that he can just play with something,
Mhm.
and then it creates something amazing. I think he said there was something like 50 minutes of music in this.
Probably.
And we talked about, like, when we were watching it, yeah, we heard a lot of the music,
Yeah.
but we didn't realize, like, it's throughout the entire film
Mhm.
because there is no dialogue.
Yeah.
I would love to see the script on this because it's probably like 5 pages where it says, like, right there, it says hallway fight. Iko does cool stuff.
Yeah. It's a good point. I wonder how much they, in writing the script,
Because
wrote the choreography down.
you can do crazy shit like Sylvester Stallone, how he wrote down every jab and hook and everything for Rocky, which is mentally insane. But doing something like that for this would be impossible. I don't know how you do
That
that.
would be very difficult.
It'd be like how do you write down a dance?
I mean, people do somehow,
I mean,
but
I think I said while we were watching, I'm like, this could be on Broadway,
yeah.
especially with the music. I mean, it's a musical.
Mhm.
This film's a musical. I said it. The Raid's a musical with all the music, and then the fight and the choreography is just so fluid, and it's like watching ballet.
Mhm.
It's just pretty. And then you get to watch. It's a manga thing. You get to watch people get stabbed in
Yeah.
the throat and the hamstring and a bunch of weird fucked up shit. You get to see Usher slash through the throat with a door and crazy shit.
Mhm. Definitely.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
do
think
some.
I'm just trying to kind of wrap my head around how someone as famous as the guy from Linkin Park doesn't go on to score anything else, unless maybe he's not interested.
Yeah.
At the time, the band was still active, working on new records and other stuff, and maybe he just didn't
Well, he's in multiple bands.
didn't have the time. Yeah, that too. Maybe he just doesn't have the time to do it. But I mean, because look at how much work like Nine Inch Nails get. They're always scoring.
Right.
He's always scoring films and doing stuff. You'd think they would too.
Yeah, especially with their unique blend. And,
Yeah,
And yeah, I don't know.
it'd be good. It would take a certain kind of like gritty film, like a Punisher or something.
Wait, what did you say that Gareth Edwards is slated to direct?
Oh!
Uh,
Deathstroke?
yes, Deathstroke.
Yeah, we read that on IMDb.
It's rumored that Gareth Edwards, who directed The Raid, will be directing Deathstroke. The movie,
Oh, do you think that score?
with Mike Shinoda. They'll come back, be like, dude, I got this thing. Can you imagine?
What
Like,
if he worked with Junkie XL?
that could be, I don't know. Do you think they might clash a little bit?
I don't know. That could be cool.
Junkie's not doing it anymore, though.
Why?
He's not doing superhero stuff.
I didn't know that. Why?
We talked about this. He dropped out of Justice League and went to Lara Croft.
Or was that he dropped out because Warner Brothers was fucking temporarily insane? And
I don't think he's doing superhero movies.
huh, that's too bad.
Mike Shinoda.
Yeah.
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 Well, how cool would that be, though, if, like, in Deathstroke, we have Iko Uwais and Yayan Run fighting Joe Magnelia.
Yeah.
Flash from Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
That'd be awesome. And then they could teach him some stuff, and Deathstroke could do Salat Pinkat or whatever.
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to say some of this shit. There's just so much
That's cool.
potential there. I hope that that's true.
At TC, don't fuck up
I hope.
Deathstroke.
And then Deathstroke can teach Batman some stuff, and but watching the Raid and watching the martial arts style, it's very much head shots and neck shots.
Mm-hmm.
Ribs, lower ribs, neck, and head. Not a lot. I mean, joints, knee.
Mm-hmm.
I saw a lot of knee shots, which made me cringe more than anything because I hate getting hit in the side of the knee. Yeah. Can you imagine one of them just punching you or kicking you into the side of the knee?
No.
Like, god damn. Yeah, that's how they do it. They go knee, rib, throat, head, you're dead.
Yeah.
Immobilize you, knock the wind out of you, crush your throat, and kill you.
No thanks. I'm good.
Welcome to Indonesia.
I'm good.
Yeah. You want to do some final thoughts?
Yeah.
All right. You got any final thoughts? You want me to start?
I'll let you go first.
I would just say, I wish I had discovered The Raid sooner. And if you haven't watched it, definitely give it a watch. And then The Raid 2. I know a lot of people maybe say that The Raid 2 isn't quite as good. I differ. I think The Raid 2 is definitely, you need to watch that as well.
Yeah.
In this, maybe one of the only criticisms that people talk about is how they do attack him one at a time. There's not really a lot of group fights. You know, they come at him one and one and one and one.
Suspension of disbelief.
But then
you've been watching kung fu movies since the 70s.
Right.
It's kind of.
In The Raid 2, there's this prison yard fight, and it's fucking ridiculous. And it takes a whole prison yard is just fighting in the mud against Iko Uwais. And it's really cool. In the second one, I want to say, from Raid to Raid 2, it's 2 hours after.
Oh, really? I love when movies connect up like that.
And then it's rumored that the Raid 3 will take place 3 hours after the Raid 2. So cool. It makes me, and I gotta watch the Raid 2 now again because it's very good. You get to see, even though Yayan Run died in this one, he plays a different character, so he comes back.
Of course, you gotta bring him back.
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I've not seen the Raid 2 yet.
I like it a lot.
Maybe that can be one that we can throw on our list.
I'd love to. I'd love to talk about that.
I want to watch it.
Yeah,
I just want to watch the movie. I don't even care if we talk about it. I just want to watch it.
I definitely would say give that a watch as well.
My final thoughts for the Raid is that it has held up incredibly well.
It's only been a couple years.
You know, it's only been a couple years, but still there are a lot of people that, I don't know, if it's not current, I don't want to watch it. I love the fight scenes in this movie. It is so brutal and just so different than what we get here in the States. We watch a lot of Marvel movies. I know they're superheroes. But sometimes there's not a lot of weight to some of the action because they're not reacting to shots, because it's Thor and Spider-Man and Captain America and they're super soldiers and all this other stuff.
Right.
I like seeing this movie because it's people beating the fuck out of people and it's bloody and violent. Yeah, it's over the top. But that's what...
I think it's pretty grounded, really. That's
what makes it fun. And I'm looking at the audience score right now, and apparently we are not alone in thinking that this is a great, great film.
If you're a martial arts fan or action fan, everybody that I've talked to personally about this film, if they hadn't seen it, I'm telling them, go watch it. They watch it, they loved it. And if they had seen it, we did what we did. We couldn't talk. It's hard to talk about because then you're just sitting there for like, in that time that he did in the neck and that thing. Oh, so good.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, how do you explain that to somebody? You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Let's do the one thing that you could pick out that was done extremely well that really sets it apart from everything else.
Camera work. Was that what you were going to say? Camera work. I think we can unanimously agree on camera work. I think that was just really well directed. Like, you could have done this movie without any interesting shots, and it probably would have been okay. Like, you could have just stuck a camera on a tripod and here's this, here's that. But they fit in some interesting shots, like the one where it comes through the floor,
Right.
and some of the overhead shots and some of the tracking. Really well done, really good direction. What was the director's name?
Gareth Edwards.
Gareth Edwards needs to be given a big budget movie. I hope he gets Deathstroke or something similar in that vein, because he will do good, great things
I like
with
the
it.
Punisher idea too. I think that'd be great.
Yeah. Just give him a big old sandbox to play in and a big ass budget.
This doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's stupid, I know, but I just think it's funny that he's a white guy.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
I like that though. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Since you took mine, I will just say, kind of tying into that, I'll say the editing, and like you talked about the bathroom scene.
Yeah.
Cuts out, and then you're like, what the fuck happened? But you don't lose that feeling of anxiety or tension or anything. It's still there throughout the entire movie. It's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We'll do some trivia, and then we'll do our Rotten Tomatoes score and get out of here.
Nice.
Trivia. There's not a whole lot for this movie, but this is pretty interesting. Yayan Ruin, who plays Mad Dog, the long, strangly-haired, short, ass-kicking machine. He's like a chihuahua with a lot of anger in him. He actually trained the martial arts, I'll say Pencak Silat, for the Indonesian Presidential Security Forces, which is essentially the U.S. Secret Service.
That's neat.
So in Indonesia, he trained the guys who protect their leader.
That's cool. He's fucking legit badass.
He's for real. All the guns in the film are airsoft replicas and not functioning firearms. All the shots of the guns, action cycling, muzzle flashes, and casings ejected or added digitally. So there's the CGI.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought when watching it.
The original title was The Death Raid in English.
I like Death Raid. It's not named Death Raid. Can we make a movie called Death Raid?
Death Raid.
Because that's a fucking badass title.
The main character's name, Rama, appears to be taken from Rama Sakana. According to Sumatran folklore, Rama Sakuna is a woman who is credited to have been the first person to teach Pencak Silat in a structured way.
Also, his favorite food is ramen noodles.
Shut up.
That's
it.
That may or may not be an actual fact.
That's really cool that the first person credited to teaching is a woman. It's a scary woman.
Shit.
Don't hit me in the knee, rib, neck, and head, please. Gareth Edwards originally wanted an action drama set in a prison, which he got in the second one. When the approved budget was too small, he pared it down to a one-building action film that became The Raid. And like I just said, the success of this allowed a larger budget for the sequel, where he got his prison drama.
That's cool. I was just reading that one at the bottom that it was originally supposed to be set in a prison. Budget was too small, so we're doing an apartment.
One big-ass building.
Yeah.
We talked about earlier, total body count is 121. And then Gareth Edwards' debut film, Merantau, which is on Netflix, by the way.
I haven't seen that one. Have you?
Merantau, yes. Very awesome. Merantau. And then there's not a Gareth Edwards movie called Headshot, but that's with Iko Uwais. It's also very awesome. Okay. Very good stuff. It's Evans. I'm sorry. Gareth Evans, not Gareth Edwards.
Oh, shit.
Gareth Evans. I've been saying that wrong.
Where did we get the other one from? Is that the Godzilla director?
Roland Emmerich?
No, the new Godzilla.
Oh.
Fucking Jesus, how did you default to the 98 Godzilla film?
Gareth Evans' debut film, Merantau, has a final fight sequence where two brothers fight the protagonist. In this film, the final fight scene has two brothers fighting the antagonist.
Nice.
So there is some trivia. Rotten Tomatoes is a little bit higher.
Gareth Edwards.
Oh, okay, there is a Gareth Edwards.
He's the Godzilla with Heisenberg 2014.
Gareth Evans and Gareth Edwards. That's confusing.
I can see how you could get the two mixed up. So we apologize for saying it wrong.
Yeah,
whole video. Yeah, we'll get hate mail over that one.
After I called you out on Sean Austin. See, I told you.
Yeah.
I got my comeuppance.
It happens.
Rotten Tomatoes is a little bit higher. Audience score is still higher. Tomato is 85%, so this is actually really well critical success.
It should be.
As it should be. It definitely deserves it. But the audience score is higher at 87%.
Solid.
So it's still higher. It still fits the curriculum here.
Is this the highest critically rated film we've done?
I think Face Off. Surprisingly. I think Face Off was like 92%.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can look. I mean, it's probably right here. Oh, yeah, it's right there, too, I guess. Yeah, I think Face Off might have been higher. Because I did not expect it. And then it was kind of a last-second thing.
Yeah.
And I looked, and I was like, oh, shit. It's not going to work. Which is amazing that Face Off, 92%.
92, so we actually fucking fudged it.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around. I thought the audience score was 92.
Yeah.
Tomatoes
What is Heat at? Can you look up Heat really quick? Not that has anything to do with what we're talking about. But
in my opinion, 100%.
It's just one of my favorite movies of all time, and I want to talk about
that
Heat.
diner scene where they meet each other. Jesus.
94 and 86.
Wow.
We could talk about Heat.
That's crazy. How is it like that?
I still think that's the top 3 greatest action movies of all time.
But if I have to put you down, I'll do it. No hesitation.
I'm gonna go home and watch that movie.
So good. Yeah. So there was Rotten Tomatoes, trivia, all that stuff. Raid.
I like it. I love
2011. So, if you guys like that, of course, PantheonNetwork.com, as you can see, new shirts.
Get some shirts.
There's 2 different styles, a bunch of different colors. You can get hats, mugs, all that stuff. Check that out.
I should get a hat.
Hat. I think I'm going to do headbands. Trademark that shit.
Yeah.
Quit making fun of my headbands.
Just your Seahawks one.
Yeah. And then...
How's the running back treating you, Jeff?
Hey, he led the league in rushing. Or the college. Yeah. Led the nation. So PantheonNetwork.com, everything's up there. All the audio files, all the video, the store. Like I said, where you can get our shirts. Comedy Bowl podcast stuff. We're looking at doing another collaboration with them. That was a lot of fun. And
we should get some more podcasts on the website. If anyone listening has one that you do,
for sure, yeah,
I think you can get it set up pretty easy.
Do some collaborations and stuff, and I actually just talked to Zach from Comedy Bowl, and he's looking. He wants to do another movie and stuff with us.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So that might be fun to do. You got anything you want to plug in there?
Yeah, I'm getting my photography website up and running. I'm still kind of working on it, but you can check it out at phantasmdigital.com.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the name of that. So I've got a lot of prints up for sale. Wide variety of stuff. Just check it out. There's a little bit on there for everyone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a terrible transition.
Yeah.
I hate talking about my own stuff. Are you the same way?
No.
Yeah. A little bit.
I'm
like,
I'm excited for the trivia show and our movie. So there's that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. I've been playing.
Yeah, tell them about the game.
Yeah. I've been like super busy and stuff. That's why we kind of had to do some ahead of time. I used to play on a server on 7 Days to Die. It's a zombie game. I played on PC. It's also on PS4 and stuff, but PC's way better. And the server that I was playing for asked me. I originally went to school for coding, game coding and stuff, and they're like, "Hey, still waiting on this update from the game and stuff. It's getting kind of stale. Can you come on, add some weapons requests or something? Do some of that stuff." So this week, been working on doing some coding for that and adding weapons for them and armor and stuff like that. So been doing that all week, and it's been a lot of fun. I started playing it. Everything's working. So if you've never played 7 Days to Die, you check it out on Steam, or if you do play it, the server is called Sugar Modded. Hop on there and kill some zombies and hang out with us. Been
Very
a lot
cool.
of fun.
I just ordered a new laptop, one that I can actually play games on.
7 Days to Die.
Yeah, so I may have to join you on that.
Yeah, it'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
So, it's just a little bit something I've been doing some coding and keeping up with writing, blasting news. I'm going to start adding links to my writing. we can put in a link of yours and
Cool.
and do that stuff. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed. Check it out. Thank you guys.